What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh 1.
and we're back at it again with another episode of For the Greater.
And this episode is much like the other ones. So this is a series where we answer the questions of you. If you have a question about Warhammer 40K, comment down below with question followed by that question, and we answer them next week. That's kind of what we do. That's what we do on this series. And we have a special question from Alexander Schneider. Alexander Schneider says, there seems to be a lot of theories as to the origins of the Tyranids and their overall purpose. There's this theory that the Old Ones created them to battle the Catan in the War of Heaven. Another is that the Catan, the outsider, left the galaxy and guided the Tyranids to the Milky Way galaxy. Another theory is that the Horus Heresy, a beacon was activated by the Imperial that caught the attraction of, or during the Horus Heresy, caught the attractions of the High Fleet, and that this is what the fleet is looking for. Okay, and then you say, or are they just hungry predators on the rampage, and our galaxy is on the way? What do you think? Follow-up question, can Splinter High Fleets attack each other? So let's answer the easy one. Can Splinter's High Fleets
attack each other?
Yeah.
So the easy answer is yes.
Yes. That's how it is. Mm-hmm. But that's actually a really good point, because I think that there's a bunch of theories on why the Tyranids are coming here, but the strongest one that I have heard is the last one that you mentioned, which is they're just a predator, and the Milky Way galaxy is the next in a long line of galaxies that have been consumed. Reason for that is the whole Splinter Hive Fleet attacking each other. If it was anything else but just a predator hive mind, why would there be Tyranid on Tyranid conflict? It doesn't really make sense.
If they have just one end game, that's to eat all biomass, why hurt yourself in that objective?
Yeah, so if there's any type of this was created by the Old Ones, these guys are sent here because of some other reason, it really wouldn't make sense for the Tyranids to fight the Tyranids. But in this situation, I think it's the Tyranids fighting the Tyranids, which shows that they're just animals.
Right.
They're coming in here to consume. And the whole idea of the Shadow of the Warp strengthens the idea that the warp, even though it's just for this galaxy, there's warp-like things in other galaxies, and it's coming in.
Yeah, think of it as like an evolutionary tactic to better get the prey that you want. So for example, say your prey climbs up a tree, you develop claws to help you climb faster. It's the same concept. You've had prey that uses the warp to defend itself. Shadow the warp, no more warp, easier time getting your prey.
Yep. So that's our theory. Comment down below if you guys have any better anything better or anything that contradicts the theory of the Tyranids just being exclusively animals, right. Monsters, creatures,
or creations.
Yeah. Next question.
This one is by All Might. Are the Space Wolves corrupted, or what's the deal with the Wolfen? So basically, Wolfen is their gene seed corruption, I guess if you could call it. So it's the same concept as the Black Rage, the Red Thirst, that kind of stuff, but for the Blood Angels. So no, they're not Chaos Warped, but the Inquisition was actually looking into it, thinking that they were Chaos Corrupted, but it's just their gene seed.
Exactly, yep. Next question, All Might. Are the space... Oh, no, you just read that. Scrocco Cuvalo?
Oh, God bless you.
What are the odds of GW creating new Space Marine chapters and Imperial Guard regiments?
No, I'd say it's maybe like 25%.
Yeah, they're going to come out with more supplements, of course, but we're more likely to get Imperial Guard regiments than we are Space Marines. Just because Space Marines, we have the 18 founding legions, or the 18 original legions,
right,
which would get their own codex. But another one being thrown in there, I don't think they'll get their standalone thing.
No.
But never say never.
Right. This one's by El Colt. Can the chaotic gods affect one another? Can Slanesh make Khorne feel lust? Or are they fully able to perceive different feelings than the ones they represent? It is a good question. But yeah, I think it's all about perception. So like, if Slanesh does make Khorne feel lust, it'll probably be lust for like bloodshed or something like that. I know Zeech has been able to get his plots and his schemes into the other chaotic gods, so it is possible, but I think it's not to the extent that most would think, if that makes sense.
John Redcorn. If all angry Marines travel through the warp, will they clean house and rid chaos of the universe? And also, which Warhammer character would make an amazing stripper? Who would you throw your money bands at? So would the angry Marines destroy all of the warp? The warp is a really, really big place.
But the angry Marines are really, really, really angry.
No.
Yeah, it's not possible. The warp is undefeatable. Or is it?
Or is it? And then who would I want to see be a stripper? Who would you want to see be a stripper?
The Emperor. Make his bony cheeks clap.
You're into
necrophilia. Hey.
At first, and I know what you're gonna say. Oh no, it's just stripping. You know what happens at a strip club.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I would choose Vulcan.
Hey, he's gonna lay the hammer on you.
Next question.
This one is by Chaplain and Metalhead. I'm starting to create my own chapter for the miniature game. What do you think of the name? The Hydra's Talons. I like it. Is it a splinter, or what do you call it?
Splinter Fleet?
No. Is it a
Tendril?
No. Hydra's Talons for the Space Marines. A successor chapter to the Alpha Legion, because they got the Hydra.
Wait, who are we talking about?
No, because he's making his own legion.
Oh, I thought like Tyranid Legion.
Nah, it's a Space Marine Legion.
Wasn't there somebody coming out with this Tyranid Hydra Legion?
Yeah. Somebody. It was called like the Chimera or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking something else.
I like the name. Just work on the lore to make it reasonable.
But that is a cool name.
Yeah.
Roger Rangel, what is your prediction of the Gathering Storm story? So that's like the whole new stuff coming out, right?
Yeah, Bael'tan, Fall of Cadia.
I think that it is. You know what? Honestly, I don't know. I feel like it's just GW doing their thing and trying to make or profit off of the whole idea of the lore continuing. It builds excitement, but there is an underlining thing with the whole the trilogy. So for the Fall of Cadia, you had who could you play? You could play Saint Celestine, Creed. Who else?
Well, their triumvirate, or whatever you call it, was Celestine, Belisarius Call, and Inquisitor Greyfax. And then the Fracture of Bael'tan, it was the Incarn, the Vizart, and Yenid and Ned.
Or I think it's in Ned. I think it's like
the
Dark God, right?
Yeah,
Or the Dark Eldar guy looking. Yeah. And then Gilliman, Cypher,
and then there's some random captain of the Grey Knight.
So I think it has to do something with that, but I'm not really sure what it is. Maybe it's the whole idea of the trilogy thing, or the Holy Trinity. Sorry, where at last we're gonna get an Emperor model, a God Emperor model, we're gonna get a Dead Emperor model, and some other entity,
a Chaos Emperor model.
Yeah,
I don't know. War of England. What do you guys think of the Legion of the Damned? Are they the Lost Firehawks or are they demons?
Firehawks.
Yeah, I feel like they're not demons, because why would they be helping out the Imperial?
Yeah. Chaplain Metalhead. I'm starting to create... You already read that. Do you have another one?
Greg Williams. Who or what is the Cabal? Eldar, Old Ones, and just how many Primarchs have they had some form of dealings with? I know they have a lot to do with the Lion.
They've had dealings with a lot of people, but they're basically a council of different aliens from long, long ago. The Old Ones. Which kind of feeds into the story it feeds into the theory that the Old Ones were actually not just one race, but a multitude of races. And then the Necrotier messed everything up.
Yeah. We do have a 40 Facts on the Cabal, so check it out.
Roger Rangel. Question. Burger King or McDonald's?
I like McDonald's.
I like Burger King, but McDonald's makes me feel safer, so I go there for lunch more often. Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Coke, yep. Pizza Hut or Domino's?
Pizza Hut. I've had Domino's maybe twice.
Oh, I'm going Domino's. I eat more Pizza Hut, but I like Domino's better. Their cheesy bread, delicious. Gretchen or Grotz?
Gretchen, yeah.
Battle suits or stealth suits?
Battle suits. Oh.
I want a camouflage. And I get like a Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Eldar or Dark Eldar?
Eldar.
Dark Eldar. Chaos Space Marines or Space Marines?
Oh, Space Marines.
Space Marines, yep. Good question. Next question.
Nicholas Lidslet. What would win, or who would win in a fight between a 30k Dreadnought and a 40k one? 30k, easily.
Yeah.
It's better constructed, more weapon options, better weapon options. They got it.
They're taller. Labor Days. What do you guys think about the theory that the last old one actually created the Emperor? What was his name? Catone or something like that? I don't think it's true. I think the lore with the old ones really was GW's way of trying to connect Warhammer Fantasy to 40k. But now it's kind of like gray area now, and they're gonna leave it at that. But no, I don't think the Emperor was created by the old ones. Next question. Linda Salgado, why has GW ignored Orcs for so long? That always happens.
Yeah. I feel like the Xeno races always got left in the dust by the Space Marines. Mm-hmm. And it's like Space Marine release, one Xeno race. Space Marine release, one Xeno race. Eventually, you're going to ignore one for like years. And that just happens to be the Orcs and the Tyranids.
Yeah. But that's really not GW's fault, I guess. It's our fault. Because even when we create lore videos, we'll put out like a Space Marine video, gets all these views. Put on a Xenos video, not so much.
Yeah.
Space Marine videos, gets a bunch of views. More people like the Imperial, and makes sense, I guess. Next question.
Where's it at? I had one.
Calls King 555. What if the Power Rangers were in 40k universe? What would happen to Morphing Grid? Morphing Grid. It's been a while since.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Power Rangers.
I know Morphin Time when it goes shit. Oh.
Where'd Trinity at? No, Kimberly. Hey, Kimberly.
I'm not sure. I don't know what the Morphing Grid is.
Maybe I think that's what gives them their powers or something. Sorry, our Power Ranger lore is not the best.
Well, once the movie comes out, we'll take a look. And honestly, that's probably magic, and magic is heresy. So they would die by the Inquisition's hands. Next question. Have the Black Dragons become the new necessary evil in the Imperium like the Night Lords?
I feel like they're not as big as a chapter that they need to be. Like, it's not a really well-known one, so they probably won't be that big in the story, or in the lore.
Yep.
Gage Lusto. Is my squigs ready for ours petting zoo?
Yes. Corks Mahler. Since you're running through Gellerfield generators, how many demons do you have? Will the Emperor revive the dead Primarchs in a way like he did in the Heresy?
I kind of want the dead to stay dead. I feel like if you bring people back from the dead, it kind of takes away from the impact of them dying.
It takes away from the impact of the Horse Heresy. If
Right.
Sanguinius were just to show up,
Yeah.
it would suck. Because like even when they cloned Horus.
Yeah, even cloning, I feel like that's like, nah.
Mm-hmm. Marco Yantelli. So I wanted to know how Sound Alchemist can be the undermanned when it is a pre-heresy legion and thus have 100,000 Marines or so. If it isn't full strength, it would seem to make sense that it had more than a standard 1,000.
Alright, so he's talking about my Celestial Sons, my custom fan-made legion. So yes, they had their 100,000 guys in 30k, but due to this is lore that I haven't talked about yet, so it says, spoiler alert if you don't want to know yet. So yeah, basically what I'm gonna have them do is they're gonna be betrayed by the Emperor, and they're gonna be systematically gunned down. Their apothecaries are gonna be targeted and killed so that they have no means of collecting their gene seed to recruit more scouts to be made into Marines. So since they have no more apothecaries and they suffered a huge blow to their losses, over the millennia, their numbers are slowly going to be whittling down up to the point where there's about 500 or so. So that's why they're so undermanned. I'll get into the details in a later video, but that's the gist of it.
Cool. This is a long question. It's probably going to be our last question.
All right, let's do it.
Master Spookums. Could the Primarchs have sexual intercourse? For regular Space Marines cannot do their genetically enhancement. Due to their genetically enhancement, but Primarchs were not made in that same way. I know that the Primarchs were bigger than the Space Marines, but what of when they were youth? They grew fast, but they were at one point in the stage of growth human size. Did they themselves have male genitalia? And why was the Emperor larger than them if he was born a man?
All good questions.
So the Emperor was tall. The Emperor was taller than the Primarchs because the Emperor was always just a bigger, like stronger dude, and his power armor, right? His power armor, yeah. Did they have genitalia? No, because they don't speak about that in any of the lore. I don't know why they would, but most of them were naked.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah.
Well, maybe that's why, like, because every time somebody, like, a native culture or tribe discovers them, they're like, oh, we knew this guy was special.
Because he didn't have a penis.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no dick on this guy. He's something. I gotta make him my own.
And most of the people, when they were found, I think they were found, and they grew up like in an instant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they talk about how like in 10 years he matured to that of like a man in his prime.
Yeah. And then another thing too is the Emperor wouldn't have created somebody with the power, or the Primarchs with the power to reproduce, because again, going back to the whole Thunder Warriors, it was a means to an end.
Right.
It was supposed to come to an end once the Great Crusade ended. So why create something that's going to reproduce when you, at one point, you're going to try to eradicate? The Emperor was trying to eradicate the Primarchs once the Great Crusade would be over with, because it's not humans running humans; it's superhumans running humans.
Right.
So that's my answer.
It's a good answer, Gersh. Good answer, Gersh.
Thanks for sending those questions our way. And yeah.
Yeah, as always, keep them coming. We like more questions because we can bring you more answers. Duh. Don't forget to get on our Patreon page, where a simple $1 a month brings you more epic 40K content. And as always, keep on liking, sharing, and commenting. I am Gersh1.
Sound Alchemist.
Hey, the window has messed us up, and we are out of here.